There's a fascinating truth about the human body that many people overlook. Every single day, our body is quietly defending us against diseases, repairing damage, and renewing life. Inside us exists an incredible defense system that doesn't just fight infections. It can recognize, target, and eliminate cancer cells before they ever become a threat. The question is, are we helping this system do its job, or are we unknowingly working against it? The foods we eat aren't just calories. They are information, instructions, and biological signals that communicate directly with our cells. Each bite can either switch on the body's natural defense mechanisms or silence them. That means your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, all of it, has the potential to become your body's greatest ally in the fight against cancer. Now, cancer doesn't happen overnight. It starts as small, almost invisible errors in the DNA of a single cell. But our immune system is brilliant. It can detect and destroy those faulty cells long before they grow into tumors. What's even more incredible is that the right foods can empower these defense systems, making them stronger faster and more precise. Take berries, for example. Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. They're not just sweet and colorful. They're packed with natural compounds called anthocyanins that can stop blood vessels from feeding cancer cells. Because when a tumor starts forming, it tries to hijack our blood supply, creating new vessels to nourish itself. But certain foods can cut off that supply line, starving cancer before it even gets a chance to grow. Then there's green tea. It's one of the most studied beverages in the world, and for good reason. The catechins in green tea are powerful molecules that target cancer stem cells, the tiny fraction of cells that can resist treatment and cause cancer to come back. Think of green tea as your body's internal cleansing agent, quietly neutralizing threats, one sip at a time. Tomatoes are another remarkable food. The lycopene they contain doesn't just give them their vibrant red color. It interferes with cancer cell signaling, especially in prostate and breast tissues. Studies show that people who regularly consume cooked tomatoes, like in a simple tomato sauce, have a lower risk of these cancers. It's not magic, it's biochemistry working in harmony with nature. Broccoli, kale, and Brussels sprouts belong to a family of vegetables known as cruciferous greens. When you chew them, they release a compound called sulforaphane. This compound acts like a detox switch. It activates enzymes in the body that sweep out potential carcinogens before they cause harm. Imagine giving your body a natural cleaning system powered entirely by vegetables that you can find in any grocery store. And then there's garlic, humble, pungent, and extraordinary. Its sulfur compounds have the ability to slow or even stop the growth of cancer cells. In regions where garlic is eaten daily, studies have shown lower rates of stomach and colorectal cancers. Garlic doesn't just add flavor, it adds protection. Let's not forget mushrooms, particularly varieties like shiitake, maitake, and reishi. These are not ordinary fungi, they're immune boosters. They contain beta-glucans, natural sugars that supercharge our white blood cells, helping them seek and destroy abnormal cells more efficiently. Turmeric, that bright golden spice, is another treasure. Its active ingredient, curcumin, can interfere with cancer cell pathways, preventing tumors from spreading and promoting the death of damaged cells. What's fascinating is that when turmeric is combined with black pepper, the body absorbs it far more effectively. So even in something as simple as seasoning, there's science guiding us toward health. Olive oil, especially extra virgin olive oil, contains polyphenols that protect DNA from damage and reduce inflammation, a key driver of cancer progression. In Mediterranean countries, where olive oil is a dietary staple, cancer rates tend to be lower. It's not a coincidence, it's evidence of how lifestyle and nutrition shape our biological destiny. And perhaps one of the most underrated defenders, nuts and seeds. Walnuts, almonds, flax seeds, chia seeds, these small foods deliver big protection. Omega-3 fatty acids in flax seeds, for example, have anti-inflammatory properties that prevent tumor growth. Walnuts have been shown to influence gene expression in cancer cells, literally telling them to stop dividing. But the truth is, nature has already given us a powerful pharmacy in the form of food. It's not about restriction. It's about selection. It's about choosing foods that nourish the body's defense systems rather than weaken them. Because when we give our body what it truly needs, it knows exactly what to do. It's been designed for survival, for balance, for healing. Science shows us that we have 5 major defense systems: angiogenesis, regeneration of the microbiome, DNA protection, and immunity. Each of these can be influenced, positively or negatively, by what's on our plate. When we eat foods that enhance angiogenesis balance, like berries and green tea, we cut off the blood supply to cancer cells. When we eat foods that stimulate regeneration, like leafy greens and fish, we help tissues heal faster. When we feed our microbiome with fiber-rich foods, like beans and whole grains, our gut bacteria produce metabolites that strengthen our immune system. You see, cancer doesn't stand a chance in a body that's actively defending itself on multiple fronts. The foods that fight cancer don't come in expensive bottles or synthetic forms. They grow in the soil, bloom on trees, and fill our markets with color and life. Every color on your plate represents a different type of protection: red, orange, green, purple. All of them speak to the body in unique biochemical languages. A modern medicine and nutrition are not enemies, they are partners. Medicine can treat disease, but food can help prevent it. The best strategy is to merge both, to use the wisdom of science and the gifts of nature together. Prevention is not passive. It's an active, daily choice. It's a commitment to eat with intention, to view food not just as fuel, but as therapy. When you look at a bowl of berries, a cup of green tea, or a plate of roasted vegetables, you're not just seeing food, you're seeing a defense strategy. You're looking at molecules that can repair your DNA, suppress inflammation, strengthen your immune system, and shut down the mechanisms that cancer cells depend on. So the next time you sit down for a meal, remember this: every bite you take has power. Power to heal, power to protect, and power to transform the future of your health. The body wants to thrive. It's wired to fight for your life. You just have to give it the tools it needs. When we think about food, we often think in terms of flavor, convenience, or culture. But if we look closer, deep inside the body, inside the bloodstream, and into the very cells that make us who we are, food takes on a completely different meaning. Food becomes a message. Every molecule from every meal interacts with our biology in ways we are only beginning to understand. Each bite carries instructions to our genes, signals to our immune system, and influences over how our cells behave. And when those messages are the right ones, when they come from foods aligned with our biology, something remarkable happens. The body becomes resistant to disease, even to something as powerful as cancer. Cancer cells, contrary to what many people think, aren't invincible. They rely on loopholes, weaknesses, and opportunities to survive. They thrive in environments of chronic inflammation, excess blood supply, and weakened immunity. But these are not fixed conditions. They are shaped by the way we live and eat. When we change the environment inside our body, we change the odds of cancer developing. Science has proven again and again that diet is one of the strongest levers we can pull to tilt those odds in our favor. One of the most fascinating areas of research is how certain foods can literally starve cancer. Cancer cells are greedy. They demand nutrients and oxygen to grow, so they trigger the body to build new blood vessels toward them. This process is called angiogenesis. Normally, angiogenesis is a healthy process. It helps wounds heal and regenerates tissues, but when it goes out of balance, it feeds disease. Foods like green tea, soy, parsley, berries, and even certain mushrooms contain natural compounds that bring angiogenesis back to balance. They don't destroy blood vessels entirely. They fine-tune the system so that only the healthy vessels remain. By doing so, they deny tumors their lifeline and without harming the body. Another critical system that food can influence is our immune system. The immune system is a complex network of cells and organs that constantly scan for threats. It can recognize a single abnormal cell among millions of healthy ones, but it needs fuel and support to function optimally. Foods rich in vitamin C, such as oranges, kiwis, and bell peppers, help immune cells regenerate quickly. Foods with beta-glucans like oats and mushrooms act as training tools, priming our immune system to respond more effectively. When we nourish our immunity, we strengthen our natural defense against cancer. Inflammation is another battleground. Acute inflammation is essential for healing, but chronic inflammation is like a fire that never goes out. It quietly damages tissues, alters DNA, and creates fertile ground for cancer cells to take root. What we eat can either feed that fire or put it out. Omega-3 fatty acids from fish like salmon and sardines, antioxidants from dark chocolate, and polyphenols from olive oil all act as anti-inflammatory agents. They cool the body's internal environment, making it far less hospitable for cancer to grow. Let's talk about the microbiome, the trillions of bacteria that live in our gut. It's one of the most overlooked cancer fighting systems in the body. A healthy microbiome educates our immune system, detoxifies carcinogens, and produces short chain fatty acids that suppress tumor formation. Foods that feed these beneficial bacteria, like fiber-rich vegetables, beans, whole grains, and fermented foods such as yogurt, kefir, and kimchi, help the microbiome stay balanced. A well-fed microbiome can detect and destroy cancer, promoting compounds before they even enter our bloodstream. When we talk about cellular repair, foods also play a critical role. Every day, our DNA suffers thousands of tiny damages from environmental toxins, stress, and even normal metabolism. If left unrepaired, these damages can lead to mutations, the seeds of cancer. But antioxidants from fruits, vegetables, and teas act as molecular shields, preventing and repairing this damage. Pomegranates, blueberries, and dark leafy greens are among the most powerful DNA protectors. They provide the tools our cells need to fix themselves. Interestingly, fasting and time, restricted eating have also been linked to cancer prevention. When the body goes without food for certain periods, it activates autophagy, a process where cells clean out damaged components and recycle them. This reduces the buildup of abnormal proteins and defective cells. It's as though the body takes out the trash, creating a cleaner, healthier internal environment. Even a simple 12-hour overnight fast can trigger these beneficial effects, allowing your body to rest, repair, and renew. The relationship between sugar and cancer is one that has captured public attention for decades, and for good reason. Cancer cells consume glucose at a much higher rate than normal cells. But cutting out sugar entirely isn't the solution. What matters is balance and choosing the right kinds of carbohydrates. Whole fruits, vegetables, and grains provide fiber that slows sugar absorption, preventing dangerous spikes in insulin. High insulin levels can encourage cancer growth, so controlling them through diet, by emphasizing whole, unprocessed foods, helps keep cancer's energy supply under control. Spices are another category of foods with surprising power. Beyond turmeric, which contains curcumin, spices like cinnamon, clove, and ginger have anti-cancer compounds that reduce oxidative stress and enhance metabolism. Ginger, for example, can trigger apoptosis, a process where damaged cells self-destruct, a mechanism that's often lost in cancer cells. Adding these spices to daily meals is one of the simplest yet most profound ways to support the body's defense. Let's not overlook the power of color in food. The pigments that give plants their vibrant hues are the same compounds that fight disease. The reds from tomatoes and watermelon come from lycopene. The oranges from carrots and sweet potatoes come from beta-carotene. The purples from grapes and eggplants come from anthocyanins. And the greens from spinach and kale come from chlorophyll and lutein. Each pigment family supports a different defense system in the body. The more colors you eat, the more diverse your protection. A rainbow on your plate isn't just beautiful, it's strategic biology. Dark chocolate, surprisingly, also plays a role. Rich in flavonols, it improves blood flow, reduces inflammation, and protects cells from oxidative damage. But quality matters. Chocolate with high cocoa content and minimal sugar provides the benefits without the drawbacks. A small piece a day can become part of a cancer-resistant diet. Coffee, often misunderstood, has been linked with lower risks of certain cancers, such as liver and endometrial cancer. It's loaded with antioxidants and compounds that influence enzymes responsible for detoxifying carcinogens. Even decaffeinated coffee retains these properties. The key, as always, is moderation and quality. Natural, freshly brewed coffee, not heavily processed, sugar-laden versions. The same goes for red wine. In small amounts, the resveratrol found in red grapes has anti-cancer effects. It helps suppress inflammation, inhibit angiogenesis, and even promote DNA repair. The secret lies not in excess but in balance. A small glass, enjoyed with a meal rich in vegetables and olive oil, complements rather than harms the body. Legumes, beans, lentils, peas are among the unsung heroes of cancer prevention. Packed with fiber, protein, and antioxidants, they help regulate hormones, particularly estrogen, which plays a role in hormone-related cancers like breast and ovarian cancer. They also stabilize blood sugar levels and feed gut bacteria that produce protective compounds. Adding even a single serving of beans a day can make a measurable difference in long-term health. Seafood deserves special mention as well. Beyond omega-3s, fish contain selenium, a mineral that enhances DNA repair and boosts immunity. Sardines, mackerel, and anchovies are particularly rich sources that are also low in mercury. Suede, often overlooked in Western diets, contains unique polysaccharides that support immune defense and inhibit tumor growth. When we think about hydration, water might seem too simple to matter, but it's vital. The body's detoxification systems, kidneys, liver, lymphatic system all depend on proper hydration. Pollutants, waste products, and toxins can linger in dehydrated bodies, creating stress on cells. Drinking enough clean water keeps those systems moving efficiently, preventing the buildup of compounds that might contribute to cancer risk. There's also a growing body of evidence suggesting that the way we prepare food affects its cancer fighting potential. For example, cooking tomatoes actually increases the bioavailability of lycopene. Lightly steaming vegetables helps preserve nutrients that are lost through boiling. Using herbs, lemon, or olive oil instead of frying in heavy oils avoids carcinogenic compounds that can form at high temperatures. The key is gentle cooking that enhances nutrients without damaging them. Fermented foods deserve attention not just for gut health, but for their overall impact on immune balance. Kimchi, sauerkraut, miso, and kombucha are rich in probiotics, beneficial bacteria that crowd out harmful microbes. These foods help maintain intestinal integrity, reducing the leakage of inflammatory molecules into the bloodstream. A calm gut environment means a calm immune system, and a calm immune system means better cancer resistance. Sometimes the smallest choices make the biggest difference. Replacing refined grains with whole grains, switching from sugary drinks to green tea or water, adding herbs to meals, or swapping processed snacks for nuts. All of these small actions accumulate over time. The body doesn't forget the nourishment it receives, it integrates it into every function, every repair process, every immune response. Sleep and stress management are also part of this equation. Food works best when the body is in harmony. Chronic stress releases hormones like cortisol, which can weaken immunity and encourage cancer cell survival. Certain foods, such as chamomile tea, leafy greens rich in magnesium, and foods high in tryptophan like turkey and pumpkin seeds, can support relaxation and better sleep. These are indirect but crucial allies in the fight against disease. There's an elegance to how the body works when supported by the right foods. Every system communicates with every other system. When you eat a handful of berries, your blood vessels become more stable. When you drink green tea, your immune system sharpens. When you add garlic to your cooking, your body's enzymes switch on protective pathways. It's like a symphony where each instrument, the heart, the liver, the immune cells, the microbiome, plays its part, creating harmony from within. This understanding of food as medicine isn't new. Ancient cultures have always known that what we eat determines how we live. But now, modern science is catching up, revealing the molecular details that explain why those traditions work. Every research paper, every study, every clinical trial adds another piece to the puzzle, and the picture becomes clearer. The foods that come from nature, minimally processed and full of color and life, are the ones that help us resist disease the most. Cancer is not a single enemy, it's a collection of many diseases, each with its own triggers and weaknesses. But across all types, there's one universal truth. Cancer cannot thrive in a body that's balanced, well nourished, and defended by its own biology. Food, when chosen wisely, strengthens that balance every single day. Every single cell in the human body carries within it the wisdom of survival. We are the product of millions of years of evolution, designed not only to live, but to defend ourselves from harm. Deep within, there are networks of protection that never rest, blood vessels that adapt to our needs, immune cells that stand guard, DNA that repairs itself, and tissues that regenerate every single day. Yet these systems do not operate in isolation, they depend on what we feed them. The nutrients, molecules, and compounds from the foods we choose become the raw materials for defense. When we eat right, we empower our biology to protect us from the inside out. Cancer, in many ways, is a disease of imbalance. It's what happens when cells forget the rules that govern life. They stop listening, stop cooperating, and start multiplying without control. But before cancer ever becomes visible, before it ever forms a tumor, the body is already fighting back. The immune system identifies abnormal cells and removes them. The blood vessels restrict nutrient supply. The microbiome breaks down toxins. DNA repair mechanisms fix genetic errors. The body knows how to protect itself. It has been doing this for as long as humans have existed. The problem arises when the environment inside us becomes so disturbed that these systems can no longer keep up. And that's where food comes in, not as an afterthought, but as one of the most powerful tools we possess to restore equilibrium. If we look at populations around the world, patterns emerge. In regions where diets are rich in fresh produce, whole grains, legumes, and healthy fats, rates of cancer are consistently lower. It isn't coincidence, it's cause and effect. People who eat more plants, drink more tea, and consume fewer processed foods have stronger internal defenses. Their blood vessels remain flexible, their inflammation levels stay low, and their immune systems function more efficiently. The lessons from these cultures teach us that prevention isn't about restriction or deprivation. It's about abundance. It's about filling your plate with the colors, textures, and flavors of life. Consider citrus fruits, lemons, oranges, grapefruits. They are bursting with vitamin C, which not only supports the immune system but also acts as a powerful antioxidant. Vitamin C neutralizes free radicals before they can damage DNA. It also helps the body produce collagen, which strengthens tissues and blood vessels, making it harder for cancer cells to spread. Even the compounds in the peel, called limonoids, have been shown to interfere with cancer cell growth. Something as simple as adding a squeeze of lemon to your water or zest to your salad contribute to your body's protective mechanisms. Whole grains. Brown rice, oats, quinoa, barley offer a different kind of defense. They're rich in fiber, which binds to toxins in the digestive tract and helps eliminate them. They also stabilize blood sugar levels, preventing insulin spikes that can feed tumor growth. The B vitamins found in whole grains support cell metabolism and DNA repair. Each spoonful becomes part of a continuous process of renewal that our cells depend on. Let's look at legumes, another cornerstone of protection. Lentils, beans, chickpeas, and peas are full of fiber, plant protein, and antioxidants. They regulate hormone levels and promote the growth of beneficial gut bacteria. In doing so, they lower the production of compounds in the intestine that can damage DNA or promote inflammation. The phytochemicals in legumes, like saponins and isoflavones, can also block cancer cell signaling and induce apoptosis, the natural process of cell death that cancer often tries to evade. Leafy greens are perhaps the most nutrient-dense foods on Earth. Spinach, kale, Swiss chard, collard greens. All of them contain chlorophyll, which binds to carcinogens and prevents them from damaging DNA. They also provide folate, which plays a key role in cell division and repair. The magnesium in greens calms inflammation, and the fiber supports gut health. When you eat greens daily, you're not just nourishing yourself, you're creating a biochemical environment where abnormal cells struggle to survive. Then there's the humble tomato, a food so common we often overlook its power. Lycopene, the pigment that gives tomatoes their red color, is one of the strongest anti-cancer compounds found in nature. It interferes with the growth signals that tumors rely on, particularly in prostate, lung, and breast cancers. What's even more remarkable is that cooking tomatoes with a bit of olive oil increases the absorption of lycopene. It's a perfect example of how simple culinary traditions, like making tomato sauce, are actually forms of preventive medicine. Herbs, too, play an important role. Rosemary, thyme, oregano, basil, and mint contain natural oils that have antimicrobial, antioxidant, and anti-inflammatory properties. Rosmarinic acid in rosemary can inhibit the formation of cancer, causing compounds during cooking. Basil's eugenol helps suppress tumor cell activity. Fresh herbs don't just enhance flavor, they infuse our food with bioactive molecules that keep our internal systems functioning at their best. In the same way, fruits like apples, grapes, and pomegranates deliver a powerful combination of fiber, antioxidants, and natural acids that discourage cancer growth. Pomegranates, in particular, have compounds that slow angiogenesis, the process through which tumors build new blood vessels. Grape skins and seeds contain resveratrol, a molecule that not only protects the heart, but also prevents mutations that lead to cancer. An apple a day, it turns out, really does do more than keep the doctor away. It supports the microscopic armies inside us that protect against disease. On the other side of the spectrum, animal proteins can also contribute to defense when chosen carefully. Fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and trout are rich in omega-3 fatty acids that reduce inflammation and improve cellular communication. Eggs from free-range sources provide choline and antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin. Even lean poultry can offer important amino acids for tissue repair, as long as it's balanced with plenty of plants. It's not about extremes. It's about creating synergy between food groups. One area of research that has transformed our understanding of food and cancer is the role of fermentation. Fermented foods, like miso tempeh, kefir, yogurt, sauerkraut, and kimchi, contain living microorganisms that replenish the gut microbiome. These probiotics help detoxify carcinogens, strengthen the gut barrier, and communicate directly with immune cells. The gut, often called the second brain, is also the command center of immunity. When it's balanced, the rest of the body follows. Tea is another remarkable source of cancer defense. Green tea, white tea, and oolong tea all contain polyphenols that can inhibit tumor growth, block angiogenesis, and enhance DNA repair. The catechin EGCG in green tea is particularly powerful. It targets cancer stem cells, the rare cells that can survive treatments and cause relapse. And drinking tea is not just a soothing ritual, it's a molecular conversation between nature and your biology, aligning your internal chemistry toward health. Olive oil, especially extra virgin olive oil, represents one of the greatest discoveries in nutritional science. It's more than a fat, it's a medicine. The polyphenols and squalene in olive oil protect DNA, reduce oxidative stress, and modulate inflammation. They also enhance the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins from other foods. The Mediterranean diet, rich in olive oil, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and fish, continues to stand as one of the most evidence-backed dietary patterns for cancer prevention and longevity. And speaking of nuts, they are among the densest sources of life-protecting compounds. Walnuts, almonds, pecans, pistachios, and Brazil nuts contain vitamin E, selenium, omega-3s, and polyphenols that neutralize free radicals and regulate gene expression. Regular consumption of nuts is linked to lower cancer incidence, particularly for colon, pancreatic, and breast cancers. Even a handful a day can shift biomarkers of inflammation and oxidative stress toward health. Certain exotic foods deserve attention too. A seaweed, for example, is packed with iodine, polysaccharides, and antioxidants that strengthen the immune system and regulate hormones. Turmeric root, with its golden hue, contains curcumin, a molecule that shuts down cancer, promoting pathways and triggers the self-destruction of damaged cells. Black pepper enhances curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%, showing how food combinations can amplify power. Mushrooms such as shiitake, maitake, reishi, and lion's mane act as immunomodulators. They train the immune system to be vigilant without overreacting. They enhance the activity of natural killer cells, the body's primary cancer hunters. In countries where medicinal mushrooms are part of the diet, cancer recurrence rates are significantly lower. Even something as everyday as garlic can tip the scales toward protection. Its sulfur-containing compounds, like allicin, interfere with the metabolic processes cancer cells depend on. Garlic helps detoxify carcinogens, modulates the gut microbiome, and enhances immune function. A regular intake, whether raw, roasted, or cooked, has been associated with lower risks of stomach and colon cancers. Beyond individual foods, it's important to see the larger picture. Cancer prevention through diet is not about single ingredients. It's about patterns. The combination of antioxidants, fibers, phytochemicals, and healthy fats works together in harmony. One food activates detox pathways, another stabilizes blood vessels, another repairs DNA. This synergy is what gives the anti-cancer diet its power. It's a network of support, not a silver bullet. And it's not just about what we add, but what we reduce. Processed meats, refined sugars, and trans fats undermine the body's natural defenses. They increase inflammation, disrupt hormones, and damage the microbiome. By reducing these foods, we remove the obstacles that keep the body from performing its healing work. Food, in its purest form, is energy encoded with intelligence. The earth provides it in the exact form our biology understands. Fresh vegetables grown under the sun, fruits ripen naturally, grains harvested whole. All of these carry the molecular language that tells our cells how to thrive. When we eat these foods, we are literally speaking to our biology, instructing it to defend, repair, and renew. The science is clear, and it continues to grow stronger each year. Cancer cells struggle to survive in an environment built on the foundation of real, whole, nutrient-rich foods. Our daily choices, what we eat, what we avoid, and how we live, determine the environment inside our bodies. We are not powerless in the face of disease. We are active participants in our own defense. At the end of the day, what we put on our plate becomes the language our body speaks to stay alive. Every meal is a message to our cells, signal that either tells them to grow stronger, repair faster, and defend better, or a message that leaves them vulnerable to disease. The truth is simple but profound. Cancer doesn't stand a chance in a body that's nourished, balanced, and protected by the intelligence of nature. Food is not just sustenance, it's power. It's the most accessible, affordable, and effective form of self care we have. Every time you reach for a bowl of berries instead of a bag of chips, every time you choose water over soda or a handful of nuts instead of processed snacks, you are not just eating, you are healing. You are telling your body, I am on your side. The science has revealed that our defenses are not fixed at birth. They are flexible, dynamic, and responsive. You can reprogram your health with your fork. You can turn on genes that suppress cancer, strengthen immune cells that seek out danger, and silence pathways that feed tumors, all through the foods you choose. The body is not waiting for medicine to save it. It's waiting for nourishment to guide it. We often talk about fighting cancer as if it's something that only begins with a diagnosis. But in truth, that fight begins every single day in the grocery store, in the kitchen, in the quiet choices that seem small but echo powerfully through time. You are not powerless. You have influence over your biology. You can shape the terrain inside your body so that disease has nowhere to take root. Let's start seeing food for what it really is, a form of medicine written by nature itself. Every color on your plate, every aroma, every texture is part of a biological symphony designed to keep you alive, vibrant, and strong. When you eat with intention, when you nourish instead of simply consume, you're not just feeding your hunger, you're fueling your longevity. The human body was never built to be fragile. It was built to endure, to regenerate, to heal. But it cannot do that if we silence its defenses with the wrong choices. Give it what it recognizes: real food, grown from the earth, full of life, and it will reward you with strength, clarity, and resilience. So let your kitchen become your pharmacy. Let your meals become your medicine. Let every bite you take be an act of hope, of love, of power. Because the most powerful truth of all is this: the foods that keep us alive are the same foods that keep cancer from surviving. And when you choose them every day, you are not just preventing disease, you are choosing life vibrantly and intentionally, one bite at a time.